What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Back Battles. Today, we're still using the Mega Houndoom team with Torkoal Lilligant, Mega Houndoom, Tapu Lele, Thunder's Variant, and Garchomp. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, highly recommend go checking it out. But to my surprise, Mega Houndoom actually was able to pull out a undefeated episode. And yeah, I practiced with this team a bit more. It's still losing, but I don't know, because for some reason whenever I actually play while recording, I do well, and when I try to practice the team off camera, I don't know, I just can't play it. So hopefully we are going to be able to pull out maybe at least one win, as we got our first opponent from today, JagFan45, with a Lopunny, Azumarill, Tapu Koko, Amoonguss, Heatran, and Landorus Variant. So yeah, this should be pretty interesting. I actually really like this matchup a lot because of Sleep Powder. Yeah, I really do like this matchup. I feel like Amoonguss is not really too big of a concern. Mega Houndoom can do alright in this matchup depending on how I play it. I like Tapu Lele a lot. I like Houndoom a lot. I like Torkoal, and I like Lilligant. So Torkoal Lilligant will be my play here. This is a QR code team, huh? Okay. With Tapu Lele and Houndoom in the back. Lead off Sun, get my Lilligant speed up, have Lele switch in, maybe Sleep Powder, whatever's next to the Lopunny. Now, Mega Lopunny has okay bulk, so I actually don't know if it lives an Eruption. So that's something that I do have to be concerned about. Also, the fact that if I want my Houndoom to sweep, I'm going to need Lopunny asleep, or I'm going to have to get into an after you position with my Houndoom. And yeah, I like Tapu Lele's matchup a lot. Like, Tapu Lele has a lot of fun against my opponent's team. The main threats I have to worry about are probably just the Landorus Variant, since I do have All-Out Pummeling on my Lele for the Heatran. However, I do have to be worried about Lele taking too much damage because of the fact my opponent has fast Pokemon. Return from Lopunny or Frustration. Thunderbolt from Koko still going to hurt even if I get rid of the terrain. There are a few factors. I think the Z-move would be on Koko on this team, but let's figure out what my opponent's going to opt for here. So, Tapu Koko Heatran gonna lead, okay. Again, probably I have an after you Earth Power play. Not really. I could also just Sleep Powder Heatran, switch into Tapu Lele, and then All Out Pummeling the following turn, which I actually really like as a play here. So I really do like that play. So I think I'm gonna go for it because after you Earth Power, probably it's Sugar Berry Heatran. My opponent's matchup against Mega Metagross doesn't seem too solid here, so I'm really thinking Sugar Berry. So that means my reliable answer against that Pokemon is Tapu Lele, and I will go for a Sleep Powder onto the Heatran turn 1. I am risking 75% accurate, but if I do risk the Earth Power and a Shuckle Berry, I just lose too much from this turn. Tapu Koko, don't know what's going to go for. Could fear after Eruption, because that's definitely a play I could go for, but it's a very unlikely play, so I feel like Tapu Koko would just probably either Hard Switch out or Volt Switch. As I will retreat my Torkoal into the Tapu Lele. Let's see what my opponent opts for here. As, yeah, Psychic Terrain going to go up, so no more Electric Terrain, and I will be able to put Pokemon to sleep. So let's see here. Sleep Powder does connect with the Heatran, which is amazing here. And what does the Tapu Koko decide to do? It's going to be the Calm Mind. Okay. Huh. I am very familiar with this. I did use Calm Mind Tapu Koko on my Mega Lopunny team in the past. That's going to make this Tapu Koko a bit annoying because now it lives in Eruption. I still don't know if Tapu Koko will survive like a... I'm not sure if it would survive my attacks from my Houndoom though. But I'm going to throw off an All-Out Pummeling. If my opponent sees this and scouts for it, really good play here. And I'm just going to Sleep Powder to Tapu Koko because Tapu Koko's not switching out. I can just keep clicking Sleep Powder. I don't see a reason not to. We're going to see Protect from Tapu Koko, which is actually amazing for me because of the fact that I'll be able to get a All-Out Pummeling into the Heatran, and unless it's like a Chople Berry set or a Focus Sash variant or a Focus Band, I should be able to knock out the Heatran. So All-Out Pummeling going to come out from the Tapu Lele. This is going to connect with the Heatran, and that's one big threat gone. That's my opponent's Fire Resist. Azumarill doesn't exactly appreciate taking the Fire type attacks, so I'm really happy with this turn. All-Out Pummeling going to come out into the Heatran slot. How much damage? Should be able to pick up a knockout, I would imagine. I am modest. Yep, does knock out the Heatran. Excellent turn for me. So I get rid of the Heatran on my opponent's side, and now I have a Leaf Storm and a Psychic threatening the Tapu Koko. or Sleep Powder threatening anything on my opponent's team. Let's see when my opponent decides to bring out Landorus. Could definitely be an option here if my opponent decides to bring it. Lopunny, I guess, could come out, but it's not going to be able to threaten a knockout. Or at least I don't think it would be able to. I don't think Return Frustration will knock out Tapu Lele. Landorus is going to come out. And Sleep Powder and a Coco sounds really good to me, and just a Psychic. Yeah, because Lele's just threatening so much damage here. I don't know what kind of Landorus set this is, so I do want to scout right here. Sleep Powder is safe in the Coco because it buys me a turn. Yeah, and it could buy me a few more turns if I potentially need it. I don't know what Landorus is going to lock itself into. If it goes for an attack here. U-turn potentially. Yeah, U-turn. Rock Slide. I don't think you Earthquake in this position at all. Unless you want to switch out your you know, you don't have any ground immunities in the back. If I remember your team correctly. It's Azumarill, Amoonguss, or Lopunny as your last Pokemon. Sleep Powder. I do connect 2 for 2. Alright. Lilligant, for some reason, decides to Sleep Powder's on camera, as I guess that's where it counts. We're going to see Coco take a first turn of sleep. Looks like it's not Scarf Landorus, but it is Jolly Landorus, so that's good to confirm. If I flinch here, that's going to suck. Although not the worst case, I guess. Nice. And that is a ton of damage onto that Tapu Koko. Very nice. So I'm guessing it may be Jolly AV Landers. I mean, I have no reason not to go for a Psychic in a Coco, I guess, and a... Yeah, no reason not to fire for Psychic in a Coco, and I guess just a Sleep Powder in the Landers slot, because I might as well just click Sleep Powder. The damage isn't really too important in Landers at this point. So, Landers gonna stay asleep. This is looking pretty good. If I get a bit of chip on that Landers, it's in Houndoom range. Coco wakes up, gets a Gleam off, but that shouldn't be able to knock out my Lele. Might be able to knock out my Lilligant. Yep. So Lilligant going to go down here, as I will be able to fire for Psychic into Tapu Koko, but maybe the play was to Leaf Storm right there, but I just didn't know. I feel like you double up the Lilligant slot with a U-turn / Gleam there. So if I decide to target down the Koko, I felt like Lilligant was going to go down, because I'm pretty sure that was my opponent's highest priority right there. Going to bring out my Houndoom here, as Lopunny is going to come out. Now my opponent can't Fake Out. Low Kick, I don't know if it knocks out Houndoom. We have no idea. But I think I'm just going to double up the Lopunny slot with a Heat Wave and a Psychic. Yeah, I think that's fine because a Heat Wave... I don't know if Heat Wave knocks out Lopunny. If it does, that's amazing. If not, I have no clue. I am playing with Sun, so sleep turns are kind of vital to how this team plays. So let's see here. Calm Mind was really great on my opponent's part, though, because of the fact it was able to survive basically any of the attacks that I was going to throw off at it. Maybe I should have just attacked. No, because I need to get rid of the Koko there, no matter what. And having Sleep Powder on the Landorus was pretty big. Alright. Get Houndoom in. Let's see. Do you go for the low kick immediately? Maybe the Frustration. Power Punch. That's not going to KO. Into Lele. That's not going to KO. What? Heat Wave. I do connect, so I should be able to knock out a Lopunny, maybe? Never down Mega Houndoom. So it's not Assault Vest Landorus, and I'm just able to knock out the Lopunny. So I'm guessing it didn't have an actual Fine Type attack, unless Low Kick, but I'm not sure if Low Kick knocks out Mega Houndoom, because I don't feel like it's too powerful against Mega Houndoom. It doesn't seem like a heavy Pokemon. Yeah, why'd you Power Punch? I guess my opponent was really banking on me Power Punching the Lele, but the fact is you didn't get a knockout there. If you had a move that can knock out the Houndoom, or maybe you were forced to go for a move that can knock out Houndoom, maybe? Yeah, but Mega Houndoom just able to pull clutch right there. So I felt like the first few turns went perfectly. The sleep turn, 1 turn sleep on Koko was like, okay. I think if I Leaf Stormed there and Landorus went for U-turn, I would have been, I guess, in the same position, really. Maybe I would have had Lilligant around, or at least Lele a bit healthier, but the Sleep Powder just, you know, made me have more chances against the Landorus. As, let's see here, Maller29, or Maller, however you want to pronounce it, as our next opponent. Kartana, Tapu Fini, Aegislash, Landorus Fairy, Latias, and Incineroar. So it looks like we're going to face a Mega Latias team, which is pretty bad, actually, because I don't have Dark Pulse on the Houndoom, so I actually don't have many big ways to actually hit the Mega Latias. Especially if it gets a Calm Mind up. Garchomp doesn't have a Dragon type move. Oh, this Mega Latias is going to be a problem. Okay. I'm going to go Torkoal Lilligant here. Lele in the back. Houndoom. I don't know what kind of items my opponent has either, so I don't know if it's a Choice Scarf user on Landorus or Cortana. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Dark Pulse here is like one of the probably a few times I actually want it because of Latias, but Dark Pulse actually really doesn't do much damage, even Solar Power. I did the calc on Crest. It does like 60 to 70% on Cresselia, so that's not exactly that great. A Heat Wave does about 60% anyway to Cresselia, so I felt like Dark Pulse wasn't really as necessary, but might be biting me right here not having it. Incineroar Latias is going to come out. I will gladly go for Sleep Powder and a Latias and a... yeah, 100%. Yeah, Sleep Powder to Latias. 100%. And go into Lele. I'm not sure if you're going to predict this. You could go for the Flare Blitz in the Lele, which could be bad, but I get my Houndoom in, and then I could maybe Sleep Powder, then... no matter what, this turn 1 is really tough. If you do predict the Lele, good play on your part, but I feel like you either Fake Out or Flare Blitz the Lilligant slot. Because Lilligant Sleep Powdering doesn't seem really good for your team. So, gonna bring out Lele. Maybe I could have Earth Powered the Incineroar? However, I just don't want Fake Out coming out. Fake Out Ice Beam and the Lilligant could potentially pick up the knockout. That would be worst case scenario, I feel like. Although, risking my Lele here isn't that great either. So, no matter what, either play I make, I feel like there's always a downside. Fake Out is going to come out though, so that's great. Sleep Powder does connect on the Latias, that's amazing. Okay. I feel like you would go in a Feeny here if you're my opponent for the Latias. You would probably go out in a Feeny, I would assume. So I'm going to all-out pummeling the Lilligant slot. I really want to predict that. You know what? I'm going for it. I'm predicting. Because I feel like the most obvious play is to switch out Latias into Feeny. Yep. Because it protects your Incineroar and you don't really expect all-out pummeling. So right here, I could get 2 potential knockouts. And if I do get 2 knockouts right here, that'd be amazing. Because Leaf Storm might be able to knock out Feeny depending on its set. Leaf Storm going to come out into the Feeny. That's one Pokemon I don't have to worry about. Mega Houndoom. Alright, let's go. Get rid of that Feeny, and all-out pummeling is going to come out and factor into the Incineroar, and unless it's AV, shouldn't be able to survive it, and even if it's AV, it's going to be really low to the fact that Houndoom can knock it out afterward, probably, or Incineroar is going to go down to its own Flare Blitz recoil. So either way, I'm probably getting a double knockout here, unless you go for Snarl if you survive and you have AV, but again, not too big of a deal. All-out pummeling going to target down that Incineroar. How much damage is this going to do to the Incineroar? That's AV. Yep, that's AV. 100%. So the Landorus is an AV. That's good to confirm here. Flare Blitz going to come out. Target down. I think that's Lilligant. No, that's Lele. Okay, so Lele going down isn't great here. For obvious reasons, it's not great here. However, I do have some tricks up my sleeve. Houndoom gets to come in. Yeah, that had to be AV Incineroar. I don't believe it should live out all-out pummeling otherwise. Latias is going to come out, and I'm guessing the last Pokemon might be Landorus? If it's Landorus, I after you Heat Wave here, I feel like, because I should KO. Yep. I could also Sleep Powder here, which also might be the play, because then I don't have to worry about switching out the Houndoom. I feel like it would be Scarf Landorus, though, on this team. Like, I feel like all-out pummeling, since it wasn't a Berry on Incineroar, yeah, I have to assume that. I'm just going to Heat Wave in after you. Because it should be able to knock out Landorus, I feel like. If it doesn't, like, I'm already kind of down against this Latias anyway. And Lilligant does outspeed Jolly Landorus Scarf, if I remember correctly. So, come on, Houndoom. Please, I was either risking a 90% move anyway, or I was risking a 75% move, and there we go. I mean, I was risking a move no matter what here. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna have to have Latias take a few sleep turns in order to capitalize off that. But yeah, Heat Wave would have probably knocked out the Landorus because I'm assuming it's Choice Scarf on this team. It can't be AB since I think the Incineroar was AB. But if Latias takes another turn of sleep, I feel like I'm still in an okay position. So I'll get my Torkoal in, and Eruption should be able to finish off the Landorus. It just kind of sucks because like I could have like overheated the Latias the following turn. And I'm going to be out of Sun in 2 turns, which is really bad here. So after you, Eruption is the play. I could have went for Sleep Powder, but I feel like I would have missed Sleep Powder. And then I would have got no damage on Latias, so I was even in a worse position if that happened. So, yeah, I still think after you, Heat Wave was the correct play there. Eruption going to come out. That didn't KO the Landers. Oh, no. I need Latias to take a turn here. Earthquake gonna come out. It wakes up, gets an Ice Beam off, and that is going to be a good game. So, ironically, not the Sleep Powder miss costing me, but a Heat Wave miss. But then again, that is this team. It does have 90% accurate moves. Really happy about how I played this overall. I don't know what does more though, Eruption or Heat Wave from Mega Houndoom. I feel like Heat Wave from Mega Houndoom does do more because it's a higher special attack. But we do have our Charcoal boost. I don't know. Is that AV Landers? I don't feel like Incineroar, with Incineroar living that, which it shouldn't really be able to unless it's really bulky in special defense, or if it's AV. And since it didn't have a 50% barrier, I would assume it's AV. So maybe the Landers is just trained in a bit more bulk than normal Landers, even though it's not AV. Or maybe it is AV Landers and the Incineroar was just like a really specially defensive variant. But I am pretty happy about how I played overall. I don't think there were many things that I would change about how I played the game. It really just come down to, do I hit Heat Wave? I could have tried to go for Sleep Powder, but as I said, if I missed that move anyway, like, yeah, then I was in so much trouble no matter what, because I needed to nuke the Landers either through a Heat Wave or get the chip I needed combined with that factor. So, yeah. But Mega Houndoom, not putting in the work in that game, unfortunately. A Dark Pulse would have been amazing, as I said. But I do run Destiny Bond because just Dark Pulse, I feel like I would never click Dark Pulse. Like, I never wanted Dark Pulse ever. And Destiny Bond could pick up some really good knockouts, like on a Snorlax, for instance, which is pretty big. The fact is, if my Houndoom is getting a bit low and I feel like it's not really useful, and like I'm -2 with Overheat, and they try to expect the Houndoom or try to pick up the knockout while it's at -2 or predict a switch, I could Destiny Bond, catch that knockout with the Mega Houndoom. I feel like it's a really good, solid option overall. Alright. Tapu Koko, Gyarados, Ferrothorn, Incineroar, the Mimikyu, and Snorlax. So this is interesting because it's like more of a Trick Room team. Mimilax with Incineroar. Alright. Mega Gyarados, it looks like, from this team. This is gonna be a hard one? Yeah, it's gonna be a hard one. If I get a bit of chip on the Snorlax, I do actually KO it with Overheat, which is a pretty big calc. The Mega Gyarados is also gonna be kind of a pain. I feel like the best play is to lead Torkoal Lilligant again with Houndoom Lele in the back. I only bring Garchomp and Thundurus Variant for really specific matchups, and Thundurus Variant not gonna be really too useful, and the Garchomp really is just there for like Nihilego or Charizard Y matchups, because that's where it gets to shine. But we haven't faced a Charizard Y yet, which I'm kind of surprised about. However, game plan is Sleep Powder, get either Lele in for the all-out pummeling onto the Incineroar slot, or I'm gonna get Houndoom in. So let's see what my opponent's gonna go for as a lead. Koko could definitely be a lead here. Also could be like Mimikyu, Incineroar, which I could definitely see as a lead. That's definitely potential as well. We'll get to find out. I do hope all-out pummeling will be able to finish off the job, because that's a really big all-out pummeling I do need onto the Incineroar. I don't really need... It's also useful for the Snorlax, but like I just don't think I need it for Snorlax. I actually don't even know if Modest all-out pummeling knocks out Snorlax. I probably should calc that later. It's gonna be Koko plus Mimikyu, which I am completely okay with because Sleep Powder, or I could After Eruption. My opponent really doesn't have solid answers to Torkoal anyway. I can knock out the Koko potentially. There are a lot of plays I can make. I really want to go for After Eruption because Knockout Coco sounds so tempting, but right here I think Lele and Sleep Powder is the most solid play here. So I'll go for it. Going to Lele, Sleep Powder. Because of the fact it gets rid, because I want the sleep turns, because I want to break the disguise before I can get some eruptions off. We do connect with the Sleep Powder, which is great. Let's see what my opponent goes for with the Coco. Thunderbolt, potentially? Light Screen. Oh, so it's one of the setup mons. Okay. That's pretty bad since I brought all special attackers. Yeah, that's pretty bad since I brought all special attackers. However, not too big of a deal. I can fire off a Psychic into the... No, I don't think I fire off a Psychic. I think I fire off a Moonblast into Mimikyu and Sleep Powder to Coco because it catches Incineroar to switch in. Yeah, because I could see my opponent switching out any slot for Incineroar. We are going to see the Snorlax come out, so I'm hoping we hit Sleep Powder because that would be a very nice mod to hit with a Sleep Powder. We do hit a Sleep Powder, okay. So nice. We're getting a bit of momentum. Moonblast's going to come out into the Mimikyu, but this Light Screen is going to be annoying. I'm guessing it's a Light Clay Coco, which means that the Light Clay is going to make it 8 turns of this Light Screen going to be up, so that is going to be hard to break through. Mimikyu still stays asleep though, which is fantastic, as I should just be able to fire off a Psychic and Leaf Storm here. I still think I can nuke the Snorlax pretty easily, and the fact that the Coco... I don't know if it's Electrium on this team. I'm thinking the Z move's probably on Mimikyu. Yeah, I think the Z move would probably be on Mimikyu. So I feel like if I just double up the Mimikyu slot, I get a KO no matter what. I could definitely see the Mimikyu switching out here in a Coco, getting rid of this terrain as well as wasting a Leaf Storm, but looks like that's not going to happen. So Mimikyu should be going down to a Leaf Storm plus Psychic. I mean, this is Psychic and Psychic terrain. Yeah, so I should be able to knock out Mimikyu, which prevents Trigger on my opponent's side, which is pretty big for my Houndoom to sweep. As the Mimikyu goes down. And Snorlax is still asleep. Perfect. Coco gets to come out. I think I could just go on and double up the Coco. I still need Sun up, which is the thing, so I gotta keep Torkoal around until the sun fades out. Gyarados gonna come out, okay. I can sleep out of the Gyarados. Of course, Coco could come in if my opponent really wants to. But I just don't see a reason not to Moonblast and Sleep Powder. Yeah, because I either get Gyarados on this Mega Evolution and do a lot of damage, as we are going to see the switch out. That's Coco. Very nice play on my opponent's part. However, Moonblast is still going to do a lot to Gyarados, so I'll take this trade. Yeah, Gyarados is going to Mega Evolve, alright. So very nice play on my opponent's part. I could have potentially doubled up the Gyarados slot with Leaf Storm plus Moonblast, but I felt like if it stayed in regular form, it wouldn't have been a good trade. So I'll definitely take the Sleep Powder plus Moonblast here, since I should do an okay amount to the Gyarados. And I don't know if Gyarados can knock me out. It might be able to. Yeah, I do like 50%, which is nice. Dragon Nest is going to come out, okay? And I'm stalling out Light Screen little by little, so I'll take this. One turn of Sun left. The question is, I don't know if you stay in or not. I think Moonblast after you is the correct play, because I get to knock out the Gyarados if it doesn't protect here. Yeah. Also, Coco's really not threatening much damage right here. Gleam's not going to do too much at all. So I'll definitely take this trade. The problem is if Gyarados protects and then my opponent's able to get a Dragon Dance or knock out Lilligant the following turn. That's where it gets a bit problematic, because I have to predict whether the Gyarados is going to be faster than my Lilligant or not. Gyarados protects, very solid play for my opponent. However, I am stalling out the Light Screen turns. After you... Maybe I could have all out Pummeling here, but I don't feel like it's necessary. Let's see what Coco's going to go for. It's going to be a Volt Switch here, actually. Okay. Into the Lilligant. And then that means the... Well, we're going to see the Snorlax come back in. Oh, it's just going to come down to who's faster, the Gyarados or the Lilligant. I feel like Max Speed Lilligant should be able to outspeed Max Speed Gyarados, even at +2 with the Sun up. And the question is, who do you target here? I think my best play is to always go Torkoal anyway, and just protect here so I can sleep out the following turn. Yeah. I don't believe Lilligant goes down to a frustration yet, but if Snorlax is able to get a belly drum up, I guess we could see some trouble. 3 turns of light screen left, so I do gotta keep count. Let's see here. Do you crunch or do you Dragon Dance? I feel like that's the question if you're my opponent. I feel like you would Dragon Dance again. However, I don't want to make an unnecessary read. You could also crunch my Lele slot, and I don't really mind if you crunch my Lele slot since I don't need Torkoal healthy. I just need to Sun Up. And potentially, I would love to get a... I would love to get a Sleep Powder off into Gyarados the following turn. To protect from Lilligant, I believe Snorlax has only taken its first turn of sleep. Or it's stayed in and didn't do anything. Yep, we're going to see the crunch here. And we see the wake up and it goes straight for the return into the Lilligant. Okay. Would you crunch the Lilligant slot or would you protect Gyarados? Now we're playing some mind games because it's like I can Sleep Powder the Gyarados slot. How many turns of light screen are up? 2. If it was 1, I'd feel more comfortable. I think I'm going to go Lele here for sure, but the question is what do I want to do? Do I want to Sleep Powder the Snorlax or the Gyarados? I kind of want to target down the Snorlax slot. I just don't know if you crunch the Lilligant slot here. You know what? I'm going to go into the Snorlax slot because I feel like Gyarados would protect here, and if it's not, then it becomes a bit problematic here. So get Lele in. You protect. I feel like you should. Yes, perfect. So I do call this right. And I waste my opponent's protect here, which is really big. Sleep Powder does connect on the Snorlax. Excellent. Alright. Making some reads here. Snorlax is staying asleep. Yeah, because I feel like you would protect Gyarados there because the Lele switch in Sleep Powder into Snorlax was obvious. And you can threaten a double up into Lilligant the following turn with the return. Because they wouldn't have knocked out Lilligant without... It needs 2 returns to knock out Lilligant. Now I can Moonblast the Gyarados and just... After you. As we're going to see the Snorlax withdraw into the Tapu Koko, which is fine. But after you, Moonblast is always my play here. 100%. I guess I wonder how bulky is the Koko. After you. After you, my... darling Tapu Lele. Moonblast is going to go out into the Gyarados. That will be able to pick the knockout. So I do get rid of the Gyarados. And now I can double up the Koko slot with Moonblast plus Leaf Storm. Light screen here is again problematic. But again, my opponent's Snorlax versus the world. Very unlikely unless you have a stockpile. But I feel like screens are going to have 2 attacks. High horsepower, Sami Tantrum with return / frustration. And then you would have probably Belly Drum and Recycle. So yeah, I'll Moonblast here, and I'll go for a Leaf Storm. I don't need Lilligant special attack, I just need Lilligant around. Leaf Storm does come out into Tapu Koko. This might even be able to pick up the knockout, we'll see. No, that is a bulky Tapu Koko. Or is Light Screen not over yet? No, Light Screen's still up, okay. Oh, I didn't switch out Lilligant, did I? I thought I did, okay. So, Lilligant was at -2 anyway, so I get a Moonblast off into the Tapu Koko slot. Good damage. Snorlax takes its 2nd turn of sleep. Gonna be able to Moonblast the Snorlax and Leaf Storm here. Yeah, so I'm in a fantastic position here because I'm threatening a knockout onto the Tapu Koko, and I'm going to get a bit of chip onto the Snorlax. And a bit of chip might put it in the all-out pummeling range. I have like this. I still have my Torkoal alive, which means my Houndoom can come in once I knock out the Tapu Koko and fire off an overheat in the Snorlax, which is pretty good. And my opponent might not have Protect on Tapu Koko, or did it? I don't remember if it revealed it earlier, but I do get to knock out the Tapu Koko. But I don't need Lilligant to target on the Snorlax. I just need bits of chip onto the Snorlax. So I'll go for a Moonblast here. We'll target down the Snorlax slot. Okay damage as wakes up, gets a return off into the Lilligant. Alright. Yep, doesn't KO. Sun fades here. How many turns? 2. 2 turns of this and light screen. There's still 6 turns. I'll go Torkoal here. Because I feel like my opponent's going to have to play a recycle game soon. If I just keep targeting down the Snorlax, I can just play the recycle game. And if Torkoal goes down, I'm okay with this because I get the free switch into Houndoom or Lilligant. So Moonblast's going to come out into the Snorlax. My target on my Lele slot, I think. Yep, because Lele's doing the most damage here. I'll go out in a Lilligant here because it is a viable play. I don't know if All Out Pummeling knocks out Snorlax at this range. I kind of doubt it. So I'm just going to Heat Wave here. I'm going to Heat Wave, go out in a Lilligant. If you don't KO the Lilligant here, I get to Sleep Power you the following turn because Electric Terrain disappears. Then I can bring out my Houndoom while in Sun, throw off Heat Waves and Overheats. And that should be able to wrap up the game. And if not, like, Lele's Z-move should be able to finish it off. So return going to go out into the Lilligant. Okay. And I will be able to fire off a Heat Wave. This should do an okay amount. Okay, maybe not. I guess I'll test Mega Houndoom's offensive presence right here with a Overheat. How many turns of Sun do I have left? 3, okay. You know what, I want to test out the Overheat, because it might be able to knock out the Snorlax because it's quite low. Light screen's 0.67, so let's find out. An Overheat in the Heat Wave is definitely going to do a lot of damage output. And I'm still stalling at the light screen turns. The problem is, I guess the Snorlax can 1v1 me if I keep missing my attacks. Overheat going to come out. Oh yeah, beautiful. So I get rid of the Snorlax and that's going to be good game to my opponent. So we're going to go 2-1 this episode. Mega Houndoom able to come in, just fire off an Overheat and do some work. The Torkoal Lilligant as well as Tapu Lele putting in a lot of work from my side. But hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. I made a few, I feel like, I don't think they were aggressive plays. I feel like I just made plays that I'm pretty sure my opponent would make because of the position they were in. So they were kind of in they're quite in a bit of trouble, like the Gyarados protecting, I Sleep Powder Snorlax. I feel like if I was in my opponent's shoes, I would do the same thing, most likely, because of the fact that Gyarados is such a threat. You think that Sleep Power is going to go. Lele switching is so obvious. So you would return the Lilligant. So you won't KO Lilligant with one frustration or return. So what you're going to do is you're going to protect Gyarados because Gyarados is threatening a knockout right there. And you would frustration the Lilligant, so then you could double up the Lilligant slot the following turn if I go Sleep Powder into the Protect, and Snorlax is able to get that attack off. And once you get a Lilligant, you're in a pretty good position overall for your Gyarados to sweep the game. So that's what I thought. But hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please leave a like down below. Show your support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below. This is my social medias and all that good stuff. You can check out the side series on the channel down below. Feel free to leave a comment as well because I do read them. And have a great day, people. I will catch you on another video. But until we battle again, my friends, I'll see you soon.